the Binge Thinker for another week. My name is Jamil Raymond, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. Oh man, what a week, huh? What a crazy 48 hours it has been in the American political spectrum. Let's just start there, I think, because it's just like, wow, man. Not that my opinion matters, but you're listening in to hear what I have to think, right? Trump's won. Trump has absolutely won. Like, you've made that bullet, that fucking missed shot. Not to say that he should have been made assassinated. That's not my point at all. But the fact that this guy, like, nothing could have gone better, much better for Trump over this weekend, except for Biden dying. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that Biden is like so old it hurts everyone to see him. It's like, put him down. Put him down. Stop. You wouldn't trust him. I don't think he can wipe his own ass properly anymore. I really don't. And, you know, full respect to the guy who's been a career politician, blah, blah, blah. Good for you, buddy. But, mate, put the bloke out to pasture. All the Democrats and all the fucking lobbyists are saying, all right, we need to get this old bastard out. We're not going to donate money to his cause anymore. George Clooney is even, you know, a staunch Democrat like George Clooney, who is part of the lefty elite of Hollywood, is even going, mate, Biden's cooked. Excuse me. And now that Trump has fucking literally dodged a bullet. And honestly, the photos, the still photos that have come out from Trump being shot, those photographers got some pretty hard photos, as in he looks like some pretty gangster shit. Like, as a dude, you see his blood stained, he's fighting for his right, there's the American flag in the corner, he looks defiant, he's just survived almost being killed. Like, you know, it looks pretty fucking cool. I can't deny it, right? I honestly feel like this has just snapped. We talked about the pendulum swinging back on this podcast a little bit. I think this has just literally been shot the complete other way now. That is the finals, those fractions of millimeters that Donald Trump has lost out of his ear is the defining moment where DEI and wokeism and, you know, the left rhetoric, the extreme left rhetoric, because I still think I'm a left-leaning person from the standards that were set 5-6 years ago, everyone's done, man. Like, the fact that you can't disrespect a bloke that just survived an assassination attempt. Like, that's some hard gangster shit. That is some man shit. Like, even if he's a fucking asshole of a human being, but that is what the American dream has been built on, as being a staunch capitalist and fucking everybody else out for the pure sake of maintaining your legacy, your name, and retiring into a solid gold house, or at least a solid gold apartment, from what I understand Trump has. Like, you know, it's almost like Trump has always been the epitome of American post-modern capitalism, right? Is the rich businessman that's pulling bitches and just doing whatever the hell he wants, swaggering around. He was the peak of Reaganism and 80s and 90s early commerce and businessman shit. Right? He was the epitome of that. And now he's being grandfathered in as somehow as the voice of reason in American politics. Right? Like, I think I said this last week, but, you know, Trump's best strategy is just to let Biden talk. Right? He doesn't have to say a goddamn thing. He doesn't have to pull a punch. He just has to let Biden keep crapping in his pants until he is the winner. All right. So now that it's over. It is over, because all the centrists, that hard, that middle, it's sort of they're sort of undecided and being like, I don't really like the bloke, but the other side's not offering any much better. They're going, yeah, all right, I guess, right? Like, can he really make things worse than they are now? Is Trump going to keep maintaining the war in Ukraine? Is he going to just keep imposing tariffs and like cranking down the economy? I mean, technically during the Trump years, I've said this before, there were less wars in place. Like, he wasn't a war hawk. He's too self-absorbed to be a war hawk and maintain the military-industrial complex. So it makes you wonder, like, could Trump usher in an era of desperately needed peace into the US, where the US's best strategy is to stop its imperialistic ways and stop pouring its money into wars that it shouldn't be fighting, and just focus on itself for a good 4 to 8 years and, become a little bit insular? Could that happen? And could an America first policy where they don't get invested in foreign bullshit wars and, put their fingers in so many fucking pies, and their national debt, the interest on their national debt is as much as what they spend on federal defense, which is the largest in the world by like exponentially compared to the next greatest? Like, shutting the fuck up and taking a bit of a chill pill as a nation might be the best thing for you guys. And of course, there is the obvious sacrifice of, conservatism and women's rights, reproductive rights, all of that taking a bit of a fucking backseat for the time being, which is unfortunate. But, these are just the things you have to marry up, sort of balancing out if you are a power broker, if you are trying to retain power in these political systems. And that's what probably people are marrying up for now. Now that Trump has just shot himself into infamy, just taken his brand to a whole new level, right? He was starting to get the black vote, and now he's definitely got the black vote. He's got 50 Cent on his side. And, black people love a guy that survived a gunshot wound or two. Again, look at 50, right? So, man, it's going to be strange. Even Ray Dalio, one of the great investors of our time, he wrote an op-ed I've yet to read, but I saw it. But he's basically saying, what's wrong with the Democratic Party? It's like, even the most passionate Democrats are going, guys, fucking stop it. We can see the facade. Please stop. You're meant to be the good guys. You're meant to be the voice of reason amongst these fucking hicks and rednecks. And that's what we've tarred the Republicans to be conservative, backwards people. And you aren't helping. You are making it so hard to vote for you with your fucking blatant lies and your two-handedness and your inconsistency that you're leaving them no choice but to just go conservative or please go for RFK, right? And I think I've probably said this in the past. It's just like, it's just so much easier to be conservative. Like, there's just so much less mental load to be conservative than it is to be liberal nowadays, because you just don't know. You don't know what's right and what's wrong, or what's, culturally correct now to be a liberal person, to be someone on the left. At least when you are when you are a conservative, the answer is just no. No blacks, no queers, no women, right? No rights for anybody. And that is mean and denigrating and dehumanizing. But there's part of you that goes, at least I know where I stand, right? At least I know where I stand. And I've talked to many people of color, the POCs, right? Is that it's much better to be certain that someone dislikes you than someone pandering to you, to your face, and being inauthentic. And, sometimes, like, at the peak of this stuff, white people couldn't even speak to you without feeling awkward because they wanted to ask about your race and your background and felt compelled to, and, to care. And it's like, we don't want you to care about our race. Listen to us and treat us like equals, but do not pander to us. And yeah, man, like, there's a collective frustration of, you guys are supposed to be the good guys, Democrats. You're supposed to be the good guys, but we can't see anything good going on with what you're doing. And even the person that you've put in front of us he can't even reinforce the lies you're trying to purport. They can't even bullshit us anymore. They are physically incapable of bullshitting to us, which is the bare minimum we expect from a politician. And he can't do it. He can't finish his sentence. He's calling fucking the president of Ukraine Putin. He's calling his own vice president, Kamala Harris, Trump. Like, it's over. And like, who are they gonna swap? Who are they gonna swap Biden with? I wonder if, and I know that RFK is like, I'll put my hand up. I will do the nomination. I sound like I don't know, yeah, I will do the nomination of the Democrats. I don't know why I get this weird accent. I'm trying to just be croaky and, RFK. I do like the bloke and I do believe in him, but I just wonder if he's going to get knifed by his own party. Like, how can you walk in, if you are, and I'm pretty sure JFK is a Democrat, was part of the Democratic Party, because they're a Democratic family. And he went independent, and that's why he lost all his people. But if you've watched your father and your uncle get fucking assassinated by interference of the Democratic Party, and you're like, oh shit, 2 other men in my family have been knifed in the back by the Democrats. Hey, there's a spot open to be the leader of the Democratic Party. What could go wrong this time? Like, how would you, like, I understand that I understand you've got to compromise to take power. But the moment your back is turned, you can't guarantee that the Secret Service or the CIA, all these people that you are about to fucking, whistleblow and tear wide open. There are so many fucking, crosshairs on RFK's back from corporate interest that we have very clearly seen dominate and fucking be regulated by the media, the mass media, all these old school institutions. Like, how do you go, yeah, this will be fine. What's the worst that could happen? How could you trust anyone? But I guess he needs the manpower to get into office. Does he use the old Democratic heads to do what he says? That's what I didn't understand either, is that if he takes power as an independent, where is he going to find his cabinet? Where is he going to find members? Are the people just going to jump ship and join his party? They probably would. But you'd have to test whether they're in it for the power. Are they trying to infiltrate and undermine his power and his capability? You've got to think about sleeper agents that are probably trying to kill you in some way or form. You've got to get some fucking, your fucking security, your private security better fucking love you and who you are and, are bound by duty. Right? Back on the Trump thing, I saw this thing on this guy called Grand Wizard Chat N-Word, who is like this meme page for African American and black culture that I follow because he does have some pretty interesting stuff in memes. But people are giving shit to the female Secret Service officers that were used to protect Trump because when everyone's looking back at the footage and basically like these Secret Service agents are like 5'4" and most of them are freaked out. Instead of protecting the president, one of them is like hiding behind the group of other agents that are protecting him physically, like doing the physical barricade bodyguard shit that you would expect. And then there is like one woman, one Secret Service agent, a female one, who's like hiding behind the dais and hiding behind the throng of people and basically using that throng of people as a human shield to protect her. which is not a good look when you're supposed to be, when it is your duty to protect the people, and you're like, people, protect me! So, not a great look. And yes, like, the conservative backlash is going to happen. Let the raining of punching down, let the asteroid belt or the asteroid shower, the meteor shower of punching down begin. Of non-political correct humor, punching down on women and, you know, gays and all this sort of stuff. It's coming. It's coming. All of the shit that people have held their tongue about for the last 5 to 10 years, you better believe it's coming back. That pendulum is going to swing harder than, what's her name on the wrecking ball? Miley Cyrus. Oh, yeah, Miley Cyrus. I was going to say Hannah Montana, but that thing, that pendulum is swinging back like a wrecking ball, and Teflon Don is swinging on it like, I forgot her fucking name straight away. You know who I mean. Miley Cyrus. There it is. Who also sounds like my RFK nowadays. She seems like a cool chick. I got nothing against her. I just noticed that,
yeah, you know, I just want to focus on my music, and I want to run the country.
oh man, I really got to get better at that. But unfortunately, I don't have throat cancer, so I can't really do an RFK impression. Oh man, the amount of RFK impressions that will come up if he becomes president, whew, it's just going to be just people running over gravel. Here's my RFK impression. Indeed. Wow, but hey, what a strange time we live in, ladies and gentlemen. Strange time, strange world. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say this at the very top of the show. I'm seeing there's an increased amount of viewers, which is very nice on the YouTubes. But I think the increased viewership is from people that are looking at my sales content and then going to my most recent videos because they've subscribed or just having a browse of what pops up with the algo, and they're getting this podcast and they're like, "What's his sales content about?" Oh shit, this guy's fucking crazy. And someone guy put a comment last week. He's like, "Hey man, you got to decide whether this podcast is you being a sales mentor or a personal therapy session." And if you're watching, dude, that hurt. It really hurt. But it's a very fair point. I have dwelled on it plenty. But yes, I think it's fair to, it's time to announce that we're at episode 95. I will be wrapping up this podcast at episode 100. I think, and I will be switching to be providing more content more regularly, very similar content on about building Tech Sales Academy in public, and make it less personal than this podcast, and put that on the Tech Sales Academy YouTube, and that will be my source of being fucking real with you guys there. I mean, I do absolutely love what this podcast has done for me is, you know, speaking my truth and connecting with good people and resonating with my audience. But honestly, it's like my creative output is limited. It's, you know, effort to put out, you know, 45 minutes to an hour on average what this podcast was of content, edited, put it out into the world. And to do that, to do another 30 minutes of content, which is very similar, just talking about my journey and my process, it just doesn't make sense to double it up. And so, yeah, I'm going to be doing similar solopreneur stuff. I want to, you know, double down on the YouTube, the Tech Sales Academy YouTube, and really put content out there because I do think, you know, you've been through this journey with me, good people. Yeah, I've got something to offer here, and it's time to take that up a level, and that just means a bit of a personal sacrifice in having this personal conversation with you guys. Maybe it'll come back, but I think, you know, getting to 100 episodes is a nice way to round out and lift the bat. And yeah, just sort of focus my energies elsewhere for the time being. But yeah, like what I'm thinking is for the sales course stuff on Tech Sales Academy, half an hour update every week, something about update on the business, like I'm talking to you guys here, solopreneur stuff, you know, a day in the life of a solopreneur, or just things about becoming a solo entrepreneur and the journey and the lessons from that, which I have talked to you guys a bit more about. And then I've put a wild card in there. Maybe it's a fun story. Maybe it's a deep insight, similar to what the podcast is, but I just think I want to shape it a little bit more towards the mentorship audience and the sales audience. So, yeah, man, like this, everything's changing. Changes. Yeah, man, it's fucking sad, and to be letting things go and transitioning. Like my house is you can't see it right now, but my house is becoming slowly empty. I've been giving stuff away and selling stuff over the weekend, and the mentality has always been, to get to the island, you got to burn the boats. And I'm burning everything, man. I'm burning every boat. I'm leaving. I'm tearing up roots. I'm selling all my stuff. Gonna end this podcast and just focus on a different energy. Giving up Jambo, giving up all of my friends, and just flying into the unknown and just diving. I was thinking about this just the other day. It's just like I am right now at the absolute cutting edge of my life, which is scary but beautiful and cool. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I do think good things are going to happen, great things are going to happen. But yeah, this is the ride. This is what happens when you take your fucking life into your own hands, and it's really stepping up into a lifestyle by design. Where is the universe going to take me now that I'm not confined to the four walls of corporate life, of Melbourne, of a bit of a limited mentality to break away from a safe port, which is Melbourne, and go into the unknown, into the beautiful wild unknown. It's crazy. I mean, I did ask for this. Don't worry, I've been intentionally working on this, but when you are in it and you have the calmness and the presence of mind to realize, like, oh shit, like to reflect and go, wow, this is where I really am in life. It's wild, man. It's wild. It's cool as shit. I announced it more publicly on the weekend that I was leaving in 2 weeks just to sell some stuff, and lots of great messages from good people, and people are like really happy for me, which is absolutely, of course, But yeah, ooh, man, life, living it. Can't say I'm not living it. All right, let's give you some updates on Tech Sales Academy. Very interesting week. I did talk to you guys last week about sending some pot shots out, some rockets out at Telstra, just speaking my truth. And man, it's been a crazy week in response to that. Nothing insane, but what I've come to realize, I had about 5 or 6 meetings last week during the week of people that have just reached out and resonated with the messages that I've had about my redundancy, about helping with the redundancy payout audits, talking about the strategy. People are really resonating with that stuff, because there are so many people that have just gotten, I've just unresolved pain and haven't got closure from being made redundant. Other smart, dedicated, loyal people, good people that just feel like they've been fucking wronged by the machine, and just cast out. Thank you for your service. Get the fuck out. And so, I've listened to a lot of people about their stories and how they've resonated with my message and my pain and felt it, then felt compelled to reach out, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I've just been honest, shared my story, not unlike I'm doing with you guys, right? But broadcasting it on a larger medium that's very relevant, like LinkedIn. It's really given out some fucking results. So that's why I also want to move my content to the Tech Sales Academy YouTube, because I've realized the feedback that I've gotten from these people is that they are resonating with the truth, and they think brave, stunning and brave, right? Is the common theme, is that you're saying shit that people aren't willing to say, and they're agreeing with you because they're just so fucking sick of the status quo. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. I don't mind taking pot shots at the fucking corporation and capitalist life, because we're all sick of it. I'm just the loudmouth that's dumb enough to fucking arc up, because I've done that my entire life. That's why I'm in comedy. So I'm like, okay, cool. If I don't need a corporation, I'm getting, I'm bringing power to the people by speaking my truth and people are resonating with that. And they're not showing up in vanity metrics like likes and stuff. I'm getting a lot more followers on LinkedIn, but their DMs, their emails, people are afraid of the repercussions of supporting me in public, but I'm getting a lot of private messages going, hey man, really appreciate what you did there. You're really resonating with me. And, I've had people offer me podcast spots. I've had people say, hey, once I get a new role, I'm going to hire you. I'm like, wow, man, like power to the fucking people. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So, yeah, man, more opportunities coming. The word's getting out there. The community is growing. Things are on the up, man. Things are on the up. I cannot complain about the state of things. Again, as you know, you've heard me fucking whinge about for the last 2 months plus. It's just about money. And I'm still burning, but I believe that something will come this week. I have an intuition. Something is going to come this week. I'm happy to be wrong, but I'm going to at least prod the bear on all of my coaching opportunities. I had a meeting today with an old colleague that I just told about the sales course, and he bought in. I'm having meetings with people, like customers that sort of come in and see what I'm talking about. And I was like, here, let me just show you what I'm doing. I don't sell to other salespeople. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. I just show them what I'm doing, the narrative, the why. Everyone fucking loves it. People are bought in. I don't think I've had a meeting with someone that I haven't pitched them where they're like, yeah, I'm in, just give me some time, right? So I've just got to broadcast that signal out, which with ads and putting it on social. So I think I've got plenty up the sleeve to generate revenue if these coaching opportunities fall through. The 20x guarantee, just again, people realize that I'm not full of shit and I'm just a real person trying to help people, and I'm trying to build a business that's based on that. And yeah, people are resonating with the honesty, and yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing. I feel like I'm almost there. The only way out is through. I do believe that Thailand will be a fresh start. It'll energize me. I'll get energy. I'll have creative space to connect and play and just be in a better environment. Yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful journey. But to get there, to get to that island, I've got to burn these boats and get rid of all my stuff and, yeah, burn the Telstra boat for good. Not that it really matters anyway, but just I have to be willing to let it all go. And I am. Friends, family, possessions. All I've really got is this dream. And a plan. Most of a plan. and it's more than that. I have the beauty of the universe. I have, the universe working in my favor. I must not forget that, to be in this very privileged position. And now I'm starting to get the power of the people, which is everything, right? I just want to be a good person, helping good people get better at life. That's all it is. So, yeah, man, it's so funny. I do feel my intuitive body, my emotional body is, how do I put this? It's giving me signals that greatness is coming. And I'm also manifesting, aligning, right? Putting myself into that emotional state. But on Friday, I had 4 meetings with people, right? And those 4 meetings that I had, maybe 5, I had an offer for a collab on some content in sales, which was lovely. Then I had a meeting with someone who had been made redundant, had a chat with them, and they said, they pseudo offered me work, which was beautiful. I had a third meeting with a guy, an hour and a half chat, just got to know him, gave him some free content. Great dude, connected, really good conversation. I didn't offer him I didn't tell him to buy the course, but I think he would just buy in, based on the conversation we've had. And then, what else did I have? I had a podcast, and then another guy offered me a podcast spot. Like, all in one day. Crazy, crazy. And then after all those conversations that I had, my intuitive body, I had like a beautiful little level up in my back. The same sort of energy that came with when I had the idea, the epiphany for Textiles Academy almost probably, it could have been 3 years, just on 3 years ago to the day, honestly. I could not tell you for certain. But yeah, it's pretty close to 3 years. But just this intuitive lightning bolt, this surge of energy in my spine, in my neck and body after all those conversations to go, you're onto something big here. Keep going. This is it, right? The body, the intuition knows. It can sense it. It's like the divining stick, the divining rod, which is like this, I don't know, I've only seen it like in Australian culture. You basically get like a wishbone style stick. So a stick that looks like a Y. And somehow this stick, if you just sort of like, you hover it around like you're like a gold, like a minesweeper, like, there's people that sort of like, they prospect for gold by putting that weird little plate thing on the ground and going. So yeah, like a divining rod is like that, but a stick, and it finds water, and it's supposed to pull you towards water, and that's what this energetic rush is. It's going, stay the course. You're onto something here, and I got to trust it. I got to believe it, because these intuitive lightning bolts of what have guided me here, right? And yeah, it might be strange, it might be woo-woo, whatever you want to fucking call it, but I believe, man, it's inside the body. It's the intuitive self. I've seen it. I've felt it. I believe it. Energy has surged and come through me. I know the good energy from the bad energy. It is just part of this beautiful journey that we're on. We are more than our five senses. There is so much more to this universe than what, materially appears in front of us. We are very limited by our human senses. And when we become less particle, more wave, and become more in tune with the energy of the universe around us from what formed us here in the first place, that is where the magic happens. That is where the beautiful downloads and the wisdom from the universe comes to us. And that is what guides us forward. But you can only find that in stillness, in calmness, and not be just like an antenna. When you had a TV antenna back in the day and it was rainy and windy, your signal would fuck up. Same applies to your internal antenna to the world, to the universe, right? You can't get the clearest signal in the rain and the storms. You have to calm and level yourself. And that's what I've been trying to do, really. It's just, despite these challenges, the leap of faith, all this work I have to do is just like stay calm through it. You'll find a way. Everything will pan out. Just be calm through this journey. Just be calm through this journey. And that's what I'm doing. It's a challenge, but I'm doing it. And that's it for this week, folks. Another shorty. I mean, there's not much going on in my life besides selling shit and getting the fuck out of here. Hopefully I'll have more of a life. I will have more of a life in Thailand. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to love it. Okay. You know where to find me, folks, at Jamil J. Raymond on the socials. For those that I don't think anyone has, but just in case you are from the Textiles Academy, I'm just going to put a link in the description for textile stuff. That goes to the Textiles Academy YouTube page, which I will be creating much more on shortly, folks. It's coming. Give me a couple of weeks. Let me settle in, and I have a barrage of great content ready to go. All right. Love yous all, bingers. Enjoy this. Enjoy these final few moments together. Love yous all. See you next week. Ciao for now.